Hello, my name is Urkan III, not at all related to the Poppy Playtime character, and in this video, me and another YouTuber, Star Wars Analysis, are both going to share our designs for the perfect Separatist task force. Mine is mostly going to be about being a blockade, while his is mostly going to be a multi-purpose fleet. Big thanks to Star Wars Analysis for assisting in the making of this video, and his channel's in the description or up on the card right there if you want to go check him out. His video is legitimately the exact same except for the intro and outro, but eventually he might post other videos, and yeah, really cool content creator, very knowledgeable of the Clone Wars, and would recommend his content. For my task force, I'm going to be mostly focusing on blockading a planet from a Republic task force, which is mostly 3 Venators and their Starfighter complements. I will only be using ships that the Separatists have been seen using, and I'm not going to modify any ships. So for my first capital ship, I'm going to do a Lucrehulk class battleship. The Lucrehulk can hold 3,130 fighters, which will split into 2,000 Vulture droids, 500 Hyena droid bombers, and 600 Tri-droids, as well as 30 Rogue-class starfighters for more heavy firepower. Our fighters will focus on targeting the Republic starfighters that would, of course, target the Lucrehulk, and the Lucrehulk will also focus on commanding the planetary occupation, and it'll kind of hang at the back with our resupply ships, which we'll get to later. For our next ship, and also the flagship, it'll be a Providence-class destroyer. It will carry 240 droid tri-fighters that will only focus on Jedi fighters or Republic starfighter squadron leaders. Since the Providence was incredibly durable, it will be at the front, helping our Municipants take down the Venators. Now it's time to talk support ships. As I said earlier, we will use 7 Municipant-class star frigates to suppress the Venators from assisting their fighters and taking down our ships. And also, they will each have a complement of a couple more Rogue-class fighters, or if we can't get them, just some more standard Vultures. We will also have 4 Trade Federation missile frigates for anti-starfighter combat, as they were excellent at destroying starfighters in close and long range. Their lack of fighters is an annoyance, but a minor one, and it doesn't really matter too much. We will also use 2 Resurgent-class light destroyers because of their front turbo lasers, which are amazing at destroying Venators, just cutting through them. And they will kind of be in between our Municipants, and though they have less armor, their firepower really makes up for that. Though they do have a good amount of starfighter space, I'm only going to do 10 droid tri-fighters each, as we want to keep cost downs, and thanks to our Lucrehulk, we have a lot of fighters. Now, since a long battle can be very taxing on resources, we'll need some support. So for that, I've decided to use 2 Umbaran support ships, which will resupply our larger ships. They will be crewed by battle droids with a complement of a single squadrons of Vulture droids each, and they will hang back near our Lucrehulk. Now, since a blockade can't cover an entire planet, we will deploy 20 automated Vulture droid deployment stations around the planet. Each station can hold up to 6 Vultures each, and though the platforms don't have any weapons on them, I would love to at least add a couple of point laser cannons on them if possible. Just 1 or 2, just for a little bit extra protection. I would also like to deploy 50 or so Conqueror-class atmospheric dreadnoughts, for if our enemies made it actually inside of the atmosphere of the planet. They're pretty small weapons platforms, and they've got dozens of laser cannons on them, and they have droids on top of them for even more firepower. They're not the most armored things ever and can be destroyed pretty easily, but it's just a little bit of extra protection, and it'll at least cause some annoyance to these ships, which will allow our starfighters to maybe catch up to them and destroy them. So even though this fleet is mainly focused on holding a planet, I don't think you'd have to change it much to make it more of an offensive thing about breaking a blockade. Probably just remove the some of these weapons platforms we have, and then the deployment stations as well. But yeah, That's my fleet.
I would have split my task force into 3 different groups, and those 3 different groups could be separated to be their own sort of task force. That way I can send them against the Republic Navy. My first group would have been led by my flagship, and it would have been meant for supporting and supplying the rest of my fleet or planetary invasions. My capital ship would have been the larger version of the Providence class carrier/destroyer, due to it being well-rounded and making the perfect capital ship for communications. If I could, I would have made 2, maybe 3 Lucre hulks for my supporting. And the rest of my little group would have been separatist supply ships. That way I can have a presence on planetary invasions, while the rest of my fleet goes out first for assaults. My second section would have been comprised of 2 different smaller task groups, which would have been each led by a Recusant class destroyer, supported by 3 munificent star frigates due to their mass firepower and size, for their size. And my last ship would have been a separatist supply ship, also to have a presence on each task invasion. My last group would have been separated into 3 different smaller task forces. They would each be led by a standard Providence, if possible. While only 2 of the groups would have had nothing but munificent class star destroyers for strikes against Republic convoys or Republic fleets. The last one would have been supported by 3 Recusants, and if possible, another Providence or Lucre hulk.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please consider liking, subscribing, all those type of stuff. Big thanks again for Star Wars Analysis for giving the video idea, and then also helping with his own fleet design. You should subscribe to his channel if you liked his fleet or just like the video in general. But yeah, thanks for watching, and peace out.